Hello, folks, and welcome back. Um, if you remember last lesson, we looked at how to make sketches and dimensions between edges, lines, and angles. Today, we're going to be looking at some of the other 3D features that we've not yet touched upon. So, um, this should be a landing screen, and you should have something called practice session, and somewhere along those lines, and you're going to open what you started last lesson when we were doing the dimension tool. So you should have, I had this, I don't know whether you had a couple of shapes, whether you had one dimension shape. What you're going to do is you're just going to click Insert New Tab, you're going to click on Create Part Studio, and this is going to be session 3. So I'm going to rename that uh, lesson 3, and just press enter or click away, and it's going to leave me with my workspace. What you're going to do now is, now you know how your dimensions work, you're going to start off by making me a perfect cube. That is 100 millimeters by 100 millimeters by 100 millimeters. Um, Pause the video if you think you already know how to do that. If you need an extra hand, just watch through and I will quickly go through the steps to doing that. So the first thing I'm going to do is press sketch. I'm going to click on my front plane and I'm going to press N. And now I'm ready to sketch my rectangle, so corner rectangle. I'm going to go from the middle, which is always good practice. I'm going to pull it out. That's about right already. But all I'm going to do without clicking anything else, I'm going to click 100, and that should automatically set my height. And then I'm going to click 100 again, and that should automatically click my length, and press enter. And then all I'm going to do, I'm going to move my dimensions. In fact, I can leave them there. I'm going to click extrude, and I'm going to extrude it by 100. So I've got a perfect cube. Now, what I want you to do once you've got that is on the front of your cube, well, I suppose on any flat surface of your cube, you're going to draw me a circle somewhere in that cube, on that surface. So I'm going to click on that one actually. I'm going to click on the surface of my cube. I'm going to click N. I'm going to click on sketch. I'm going to select my circle tool, which is next to the rectangle. And I'm just going to click a circle, click and drag a circle out somewhere in the middle. Now, it's going to be useful if it doesn't go over the edge. For today, anywhere in the circle, any size you want, but I want it to keep in the confines of that surface, of that square. And then you're going to click extrude. You might be thinking, we've already done this. We did this in lesson 2, and you're dead right, we did. But you've not done this next bit. Onshape is a 3D modeling software. It's all about building things and making a model and adding features. It's all about putting things on stuff. So all the features that it gives you default to making a solid item appear. However, that's not always what we want. In fact, a massive part is cutting bits away that we don't want. Unfortunately, there's no tool which is as simple as just delete the shape, but it's almost as simple as that. What you need to do is press extrude as you've already done. Make sure you're on solid there. And then in the next toolbar down, you've got 4 options. You've got new, which will turn that into a brand new part, and you'll see that part appear at the bottom. We might be talking about that in a couple of weeks. Oop. You have add, which just extends the object you are. It's the same object, it's just a different bit added onto it. The last one is intersect, which I'll be perfectly honest with you, I've never actually used for a project in my life. But the third one is the important one that we're talking about today. It's remove. And all that does, it's gone red for the minute, don't worry about that. What remove does is it cuts the hole instead of adding a hole to something. And the reason it's red at the minute is because there's nothing here for it to cut. However, if I pull it the other way through the solid object, through the cube, you're going to see that it's going to start cutting that recess, that rebate in the hole, that depression. And if I just pull it all the way through, look through, you'll see that I've cut a hole all the way through my shape. Now I'm going to click the tick. And I got it. I've got my square, I've got my cube with a hole in it. What you're going to do now is on 3 of the sides, you're going to do a similar remove. So I've done it on 1. The reason we're only doing it on 3 is because every time you do an extrude and you put a hole in it, it actually makes a hole on 2 sides, doesn't it? So just in case you're wondering where that 3 came from. So what I'm going to do is rotate myself around, click on my new um, face, click sketch, and I'm actually going to use the slime tool. Again, now I'm extruding, I can use any shape I want. I'm going to cut, oh, let's see how close we can get these edges, these corners. Every time I click, the spline tool is going to put a bend in my line. That'll do me. I'm going to extrude that. I mean, it looks cool enough coming off that there, but if I now click remove and send it all the way through, not only have I got a circular hole going through this face, through this axis, I've got this crazy shape going through there. The last thing I'm going to do, I'm just going to make a sketch on the top. This time, I'm going to use the line tool. See how good we can get this. You might want to actually draw a shape of something you like, whether that's an elephant, you know, a phone, it could be a spring, whatever you like. Making things that already exist in Onshape on the sketch is actually quite difficult, but by all means have a go. Yeah, rugby ball, I don't know. As soon as you've got a closed shape, remember closed shape, that's important. It means it starts back up, it snaps back to that same point it started from. I'm going to click extrude, remove, and often it defaults to 25 as well. I can set that to something that I know goes all the way through, or I can simply grab this arrow and pull this arrow all the way through. Click my tick, and there. If you look at the inside now, the inside of this is a right mess. It's got the circle cut out, it's got the spline and the straight line cut out. Oh, look at that. But now I've got what's actually quite an impressive looking shape, even though all we've done is we made a cube, drawn random shapes on it, and cut them out. Um, that's about it for this session. If you want to go ahead and practice with another shape, maybe you want to draw your own rectangle or your own prism, and you want to have a go at that, that's absolutely fine. In the next session, we're going to be looking at something called fillets and chamfers.